Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. So it's been a few days. I still haven't heard back from Hachette yet about what's happening with my damaged issue, so I won't be able to crack on with the delivery straight away. But luckily we have something special in this delivery for us to look at today, and that's going to be Premium Kit Free. And yeah, this is going to be a lovely little box to add to our collection. Some fantastic models in there, some new models as well in the form of the Leagues of Votann Brokhyrs, and yeah, the classic Killa Kans, which came back out in 2009, I believe it was, the frame said anyway. Yeah, I can remember the Ork Codex at the time that came out. There were quite a few new kits back then, the Storm Boys, the Killa Kans, the Death Dread, and a few other kits that came out around the same time as the update of the Orks after Assault on Black Reach. Sadly though, we never got plastic Deathcopters till about 5 years ago, so took their time with that one. So we'll go through the kits, take a close look at all the components, then have a look through the book before giving our final thoughts on this special kit. So before we hit the table and take a look at our brand new box, don't forget to of course do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys. What are you doing with your premium kit? And are you going to be changing up the equipment on your models? I think I'll probably go basic equipment. I haven't decided quite yet though. As for the Orks, I think the only upgrade I might do is add on the Scorcher to one of the models. Flamer weapons are a little bit more reliable when it comes to Orks, at least. As for the rest of it, I think I'll just build them pretty much as the magazine tells me to. Finally then, before we hit the table, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything you need for getting started and expanding your forces, to adding all your final details of paints and basing details. They also stock past and present part works from Hachette, including Combat Patrol, so if you're looking for some extra issues, check them out, they'll be able to help you out. They've also got a special offer on at the moment, 4 issues for £40. There'll be 1 paint issue, no more, no, maybe less. And you'll get a bunch of random issues sent to you, so you could get full kits, half kits, who knows, it'd be interesting. I might give it a try myself. So, check out Warbay as usual, link in the video description. Right then, let's head to the table and take a look at Premium Kit Free. So here we are then with our box for Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Premium Kit Free, product code CXA8587. So let's open her up and take a look inside. So we've already unboxed this in our unboxing video. So we're going to take a bit of a deeper dive into this in just a sec. So mainly the magazine is going to be the prime of our video. So I'll put that to one side. We've got all our bases, so 3 40mm bases for our Brokhyr, and 3 60mm bases for the Killa Kans. And then we got our frames. So we got the Brokhyr. Each frame pretty much has a single model on, so yeah, just work on one frame at a time. Should get your models built pretty quickly, and near enough an identical layout as well. Slightly different angle on some of the guns, etc. Bolter and Grav switched around in that one there, but yeah, other than that, the layouts are pretty similar. But you got some nice differences in the poses there, which is pretty cool. And finally then, our frames here include the Killa Kans. A little less of a straightforward kit. The components are kind of everywhere for these guys. There's a majority of body on each frame, but there's fronts here, there and everywhere, I think, and other components here, there and everywhere as well. So yeah, take your time when building these guys. It might be hard to read some of the numbers. As you can see, part 12 or 62 or 72. It's kind of hidden by the tag there. Same for the feet here. You're more likely going to have to just match up your components via pictures. But yeah, there's our Killa Kans. Right, let's move the empty box aside, adjust the camera, and we'll take a look at the frames a little closer up. So seeing as I had the Killa Kans off to the side first, we'll take a look at those first. So here's our first frame then. So we got majority of a Killa Kan here. We got the incorrect front plate though. I believe this particular build has a slightly different jaw attachment to the one on this sprue. Yeah, we got all the different components to make up the can in question. We've got lots of extra bits. You've got the larger tusks there, which attach to one of the front plates, which is the front plate this one's supposed to come with. But all in all, looks pretty cool. You've got components for the legs here, or at least one of the legs, there's the other one. They are missing, they are 64 and 63, the ball joints that attach to the feet. So yeah, pretty cool. You do have, like I said, approximately the fullness of a model on one sprue. But yeah, this one definitely has a different faceplate to the face plate that's on this sprue. So I'm not too sure which of the sprues has his particular faceplate. And here's the other sprue. So we got, again, another near enough complete can on one sprue here, and another complete can on this sprue here. We've got the Grotzuka, the rocket launcher, we've got Big Claw, we've got the Scorcher, we've got another Buzzsaw Claw there, and then we got the drill arm there. And the other sprue just had a Buzzsaw Claw and the shooter. There's the front of the, okay, so yeah, this one is the complete can. You got, this is the front that the instructions tell you to use, so you just add these tusks instead of this jaw, which is pretty cool. Actually, look at the front of the sprues first, and then we have the other side of this one. So we got the front of this can here with the big jaw, and another one here with a bit more of a different eye setup and a different jaw as well. And again, space for tusks and extra pieces if you want to add those as well. But all in all, pretty cool, lovely looking kit. Yeah, can't wait to get these guys built and painted. And up next we got our Brokhyr, so let's have a quick look at these guys. As I said, pretty much each frame has an entire model on. So you can see your components 1, 2, 3, etc. all on here. Pretty much everything you need to build each of the individual Brokhyr. And you also have 3 of the different weapon options, so you can equip them all, as they all have to be equipped with the same weapon. But yeah, you can equip them all however you want. But you can also go for either the graviton or the, what's the other option again? SP conversion beamer. So you can either have those options if you want to. They have the full profiles in the magazine, which I'll show you in just a sec. But yeah, you can have whichever equipment you really prefer on these guys. Just the magazine showing you the one particular way, and that's the how they intend you to use them, I suppose, for the mission that you're going to be using them in. All in all, pretty cool. Right. Sorry for that odd change of angle. I had to stop filming and I forgot which angle I was on for recording. Moving on, let's take a look now then at the magazine in detail before I give you my final thoughts on this collection. So, into our build guide, we've got our Killa Kans here. So build each of the cans up. As you've got the tusks on this particular one here. You've got the components make up the feet and legs. Big shooter, the buzzsaw, These engines, very similar to the engines on the Death Dread there. And you've got all the extra armor plates that stick on to arms and shoulders there. Our second Killa Kan goes together pretty much similarly. We've got different sort of leg combinations. You've got different tusk pieces. And this time we're equipped with the rocket launcher and the drill, although there's no actual weapon profile for the drill. We just have can claw, so yeah, don't really know what we can do about that. And we got our final engine block for this guy, and you got rather chunkier looking sort of shoulder pads on this one. Then our final one, we got the big teeth that go in the front here. You got rather straight up and down piston sort of legs, very reminiscent of the old metal Killa Kan / Death Dread that used to exist. It's a very boxy sort of funny looking walker. I remember them from good old Dawn of War. They used to just waddle sort of towards you. And this one here is equipped with the Grotzuka, which is a scrap shooting weapon. And we got another can claw here, so these are the only real weapon profile we have. So you can give them any of the weapons that are on the sprues. And again, we got different shoulder pads, our engine block here as well. And there we go. That's our Killa Kans all built. Onto our Brokhyr. So we got to build our bodies first, so parts 1 and 2, the main body and the little front piece here. We then got the exosuit piece. We've got to be careful lining these up, making sure you get in the right place. Otherwise, it'll be a bit more tricky for getting everything else to line up. Part 5 goes down on top and then helps line everything up. So a good idea to cut out 3, 4, and 5 at the same time, so you can sort of all assemble them at the same time before the glue dries too much. And then get them all lined up. Then attaching more mechanical workings of the backpack, plus the arms for the exosuit. Got the legs for the exosuit there, adding on the exosuit arms, which are also integrating to the actual arms of the Votann inside. And we've got the bolt cannons. So these are very similar bolt weapons to the Imperial bolters. And we'll apply glue to each of the toes and to the feet, center of the foot, to help glue them down. You want to hold them in place so that they stick solidly to the base. And we repeat the same, but this time we got different numbers obviously. So part 21 onwards to build our second Brokhyr, and part 38 onwards to build our final Brokhyr. And then our final stage is to attach the heads, and it's showing us the heads that the paint guide is going to use, but feel free to use any of the heads you want to. Yeah, I do kind of like these. They're all gruff looking guys, got like leather caps, headgear, and full beards and stuff, so they're looking really cool. Onto the paint guide for Premium Kit 3. So follows the same as all of our previous paint kits. So you've got your base coat stage, your shade stage, and then your highlights. So our cans, you want to undercoat these in Chaos Black, or like me, give them a cheat with a overcoat of matte black. Pick out the red areas, Mephiston red, white areas of Quack's white, gold areas of Retributor armor, silver areas of Lead Belcher, bone areas of Wraithbone, and then the yellow bits with Avalanche Sunset. Which you can't actually see it around the back, like little cables and stuff, looks like it. So yeah, pick out all your different areas. And yeah, just making sure you got all of the different bits on each of the models. Then we're on to our shades. So non-oil on areas of Mephiston red, Quack's white, and Lead Belcher. Agrax on Retributor armor, Wraithbone, and Avalanche Sunset. That's pretty much it, just those two shades, so nice and easy. Then for our highlights, Mechanica Standard Grey for all the armour, Wild Rider Red for the red areas, White Scar for the white areas, Stormo Silver for the silver and gold areas, Palawitch Flesh for your bone detail, and Euro Yellow for any bionic eyes and yellow cables you've painted. And there we go, take your time as usual. Yeah, your unit will look really cool once finished. On to the Thunderkin then, so pretty much the same way, base coat them with an undercoat of matte black, Then base coat, so the yellow cloth of Avalanche Sunset, silver areas on the weapon and exosuit with lead belcher, levers of Catachan flesh, any lenses with Macragge blue, other lenses with Mephiston red, wraith bone for any exposed skin, retributor armor for the gold detail, which is mostly the ammo in the bolt feeds, and Mechanica standard grey for actually, I'm not particularly sure which areas get Mechanica standard grey. Some of the facial hair looks like it. So yeah, it's not very clear what bits, unless you look here. So there's only one place you need Mechanica standard grey, and that's this guy's beard. Other than that, you paint the rest of it as we normally would do. So this guy's got a brown beard for what part of his beard you can actually see. This guy doesn't seem to have any facial hair whatsoever. There we go. Then onto our shades. So Ragnar Flesh Shade on the Wraithbone and Avalanche Sunset areas. Agrax on Lead Belcher and Retributor Armor. Northern Oil on Catachan Flesh, Macragge Blue, Mephiston Red, and Mechanica Standard Grey. There we go. We've got the all over angles, which is always good for these guys. And onto your highlights. Mechanica Standard Grey for all of the black armor, including the guns and the exosuit. Uriel Yellow for the fatigues. Stormhost Silver for all of the metallics. Night Quest of Flesh for any brown levers. Calgar Blue and Wild Rider Red for your lenses. Powdered Witch Flesh for any skin. And Administratum Grey is used as well on any areas that you want an extra sharper highlight, or the Mechanica Standard Grey beard there. And we've got a reminder on how to paint faces there and eyes. So adding eyes, Abaddon Black, Pallid Witch Flesh, and final dot of Abaddon Black, making sure they look slightly towards the angle they're shooting their guns, which is pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Then we're on to the battle records for these guys. So we've got our Killa Kans here. So each one's got a different weapon: Grotzuka, rocket launcher, or the can shooter. A bit of background about them there. So these are piloted by Gretchen, so they're a little bit more reliable at shooting than other orcs. We've got our battle record, so movement of 6, toughness of 6, a 3+ save, a 6+ invulnerable, 5 wounds, leadership of 8+, and objective control 2. So your can shooter has devastating wounds with rapid fire 2, 36-inch range, 3 attacks, 4+ to hit, 5+ of strength, AP 0, 1 damage. Grotzuka is blast, ignores cover, 18-inch range, D3+3 attacks, hits on a 4+, strength 6, -1 and 1 damage. Rocket launcher is a blast weapon, 24-inch range, D3 shots, strength hits on a 4+, strength 9, -2, 3 damage. You can also give one of them a scorcher, which has ignores cover and torrent, 12 inches, D6 damage, or D6 attack, sorry. Doesn't need a ballistic skill, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. So yeah, for the extra 1 AP, you're probably better off swapping out the shooter for the scorcher, although devastating wounds is kind of useful. Melee weapons, we just have can claws, which are 3 attacks, 4+ to hit, 8, strength 8, -2 and 3 damage. So each Killa Kans shooter can be replaced with one of the following: 1 Grotzuka, 1 rocket launcher, or 1 scorcher. So it's only the shooting weapons that can be replaced on these guys, but pretty cool either way. We have Deadly Demise, belongs to the War faction, and have Shooty Power Trip. So each time you're selected to shoot, you can roll a d6. On a 1 to 2, you suffer d6 mortal wounds. On a 3 to 4, add 1 to the strength of ranged weapons. On a 5 to 6, add 1 to the strength and attacks, and add 1 to the attacks of ranged weapons. So yeah, improving your ranged weapons, which is pretty cool. 3 to 6 Killa Kans in a unit. Each comes with a can shooter and can claw, although the frames don't really have, I think, enough components to equip them all with basic equipment. So yeah, you are kind of forced to mix and match unless you buy pretty much free kits and build, bring in the components from the other kits. May up them, I don't know. I'm not really planning on using these in my expanded list, so they're just fun little additions to the combat patrol, I think. So they're Vehicle, Walker, Grots, and Killa Kans, and Company Ork faction. Finally then, we're on to our Brokhyr Thunderkin. So these guys are engineers and craftsmen responsible for maintaining the technology, but they take to the field in exosuits carrying really heavy guns. So we've got the SP Conversion Beamer, So conversion beamers are weapons that tend to get stronger and deadlier the further away it is shot. The exoframe adds additional benefits to the to the kin inside. Graviton blast gun turns the target's mass in on itself, crushing such things like battle tanks and even tough armoured opponents like Terminators. And your bolt cannon is very similar to the Imperium weaponry, firing explosive slugs that penetrate the targets in mass reactive shells. So their datasheet, they have a movement of 5, toughness of 6, 3+ save, 3 wounds each, leadership of 7+, and only objective control 1. So you get bolt cannon, which has sustained hits 1, 36-inch range, 3 attacks, 4+, strength 6, -1 and 2 damage. Graviton blast cannon, anti-vehicle 2+, and blast, 18-inch range, d6 attacks, 4+ to hit, strength 5, -2, 2 damage. So very good with the anti-vehicle 2+. Could be useful to if you have the option of taking them in the combat patrol games, but other than the mission in this book, we're not really allowed to take them unless your opponent agrees. SP conversion beamer then, so conversion, sustained hits D3, 24-inch range, single attack, strength 4, plus 4+ to hit, strength 7, -1, 3 damage. Conversion, each time attack is made with this weapon, if the target is more than 12, an unmodified hit of a 4+ scores a critical hit. So that's pretty cool. Then it just has the basic close combat weapon. So all models in the unit can have their bolt cannon replaced with Graviton blast cannon or the SP conversion beamer. Belongs to the Eye of the Ancestors faction, Oath Band covering fire. Each time you target this unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem on a unmodified hit roll of a 5, you score hits when resolving that stratagem. So that's pretty cool. The added sensors and stuff on top make them a little bit more reliable at hitting the target. Again, can be 3 to 6. Have bolt cannon and close combat weapon as standard, but you've got the options there to swap out. Infantry, exoframe, and Brokhyr Thunderkin. So interesting to have the exoframe keyword. I'm guessing there must be a stratagem or something in a larger codex that used to work with the exoframe rule. So Wrecker's points and mission. So Leagues of Votann on the lookout for loot, but have come across some Orks who are also on the lookout for loot. And so yeah, we set up a battlefield, 2 playmats, big deployment zones, rolling off for attack and defender. 4 objectives in the corners, each of them sort of 6 inches away from each edge. So we take the Carl, 5 Berserks, 3 Pioneers, the Hearthkin Warriors, and the Brokhyr. And for the Orks, we take the War Boss, the Boys, both units, the Death Copters, the Death Dread, and the Killa Kans. So setting up the battlefield below, following the setup rules in the core rules. Setting up 4 objective points. Deploy your armies using the rules found in combat patrol missions, rolling off and then choosing attacker and defender. Also use the rules to determine which player gets the first turn. Mission rules, at the end of each battle round, roll a dice on a 1, 2, 3 or 4. The objective corresponding to that number is the prime salvage objective. On a 5 or 6, roll again. If you hold the prime salvage objective, at the end of your command phase, you score 5 additional VP. Primary objectives, starting with the second round onward then, so you score 5 points if you control objective, 2 or more objectives, and if you control more objectives than your opponent. So pretty interesting mission. Right, there we have it. Let's bring everything back in and I'll give you my final thoughts on Premium Kit 3. So there we have it. That is Premium Kit 3, all unboxed and looked at in close detail. And yeah, it's a pretty good premium kit. The Killa Kans are £40, the Brokhyr are 38 if I remember correctly. So we only paid £40 over a 20 issue spread to get the premium kit, which is pretty cool. So getting this for a nice discount is good, paying pretty much just for the Killa Kan kit. But all in all, it's a nice addition to our Ork force and to our Votann. I can't wait to actually play through this scenario. I'm going to definitely build and paint everything according to the magazine. Don't know if I'll take it to the full highlight stage, but definitely the shade stage. And yeah, gonna enjoy building and painting these guys, I think, on some spare time. Might even do it for No Grey November that I'm currently working on. So there we have it. Final thoughts, as I said, really good kit. Some nice new units to add to our Orks and our Votann. I do like the Brokhyr, they're kind of fun. Probably would go with the Graviton, mainly for the fact that the mission puts us against the Orks, and there's going to be quite a lot of vehicles, as they got the Killa Kans and the Death Dread, and the Deathcopters are bikes, so they don't really count. But yeah, the Graviton would be really good against larger targets, but yeah, I kind of see why they've gone for the bolt cannons options. But yeah, all in all, really fun. Looking forward, as I said, to building and painting these guys and getting them on the table. I'll probably, once they're built, painted and ready, I will film the battle report. I'm probably going to end up getting a second Demon Prince, this time doing it as the magazine says, and doing the Eldar versus Chaos one. I need to finish painting my Tyrannid Prime, and then I can do my Tyrannids versus the Space Marines battle reports. But yeah, get these all done at some point, and yeah, I can do all of the special battles sort of maybe back to back once I get all the premium kits. All that's left to do then is to say, well, the next premium kit is going to be the Genius of the Cults. So we get the Patriarch, the Primus, and a second Magus, which is all part of the Brood Coven kit. And we also get the awesome Rogel Dawn tank for the Astra Militarum. So it's a really big tank for the Astra Militarum, and I'm going to think the poor Genius of the Cults are going to be a bit outgunned with that thing on against them. But if the Patriarch can put his sway over the Imperial Guardsmen, he might be able to force them to ally with him. So yeah, you're effectively getting one army for the price of two, or really, I suppose, when you get the... Because you could have the Cadians ally in as Brood Brothers, and then you have one huge Genius of the Cult army. But yeah, that's going to be a fun one to get when we come around to those issues, which probably won't be until we come to near the end of the Astra Militarum collection. So yeah, what's left to do then is to say thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time for more Combat Patrol Carnage as we start looking at our Delivery 16. Goodbye.